All right, everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep today, and you guessed it,
AI.
AI. It's everywhere, isn't it? I
Oh,
feel like
well,
every day there's something new,
and,
a new headline about AI, and well, today's no different.
it's exciting.
It is exciting. I'm
Yeah.
excited to talk about it. Actually, we've got like three big things
Oh, wow.
that we're going to unpack today, just from like the AI Today segment,
Mm-hmm.
and they all touch on different parts of life. We've got one about education.
Oh, interesting.
One about like how we get our packages.
Okay.
And then even one about how companies hire.
Wow.
So
Big changes.
yeah, big stuff. And to help us kind of like connect the dots and unpack all this, I've got our resident AI expert here.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. So why don't let's just dive right in, huh?
Let's do it.
So the first thing I saw in AI today was this thing called Edumentor. Have you heard about this?
I have, yeah. It's pretty ambitious, right? Super ambitious. They basically want to use AI to personalize education
Wow.
for every student in the world.
Every student, like
A lofty goal.
it is. It's crazy. Think about that for a second. Like, every student
Mm-hmm.
learning at their own pace, in their own way.
Yeah, that's the dream, right? I mean, imagine, you've got a student who's struggling with writing, right?
Yeah.
The AI could analyze their essays, maybe use some natural language processing
wow.
to pinpoint, exactly where they need help. And then they could pull from this like massive library of resources, all curated and powered by machine learning to create this like personalized learning path, right? That's interactive, maybe even a bit, gamified to keep them engaged.
Oh, gamification. That's
Yeah,
that
got to
helps.
keep them hooked, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so Edumentor, big potential, it sounds like. But what about the teachers?
That's the question, right? What happens to the teachers in this world where AI is kind of taking the reins on personalized instruction?
Exactly.
I think it actually frees them up to do what they do best. They can focus on mentoring students, fostering that creativity, building those human connections that AI can't replicate,
Yeah.
The AI can handle, like, the what of learning.
The what?
The teachers can focus on the why and the how,
Oh, okay.
So it's like a partnership, right?
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so Edumentor, really interesting.
Super interesting.
Okay, next up, drones.
Drones.
This tech company is expanding its drone delivery service.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
So they're basically saying, get ready for like super fast deliveries
Right to your doorstep.
right to your doorstep by drone.
Yeah.
So imagine, you order something online and then poof.
It's there.
It's there. Super. Yeah. I mean, convenience-wise,
Oh, absolutely.
this
That's
is
a
like
Ranger.
a game changer.
It is.
But what about the sky?
Well, that's the thing, right?
Like, is it just going to be
Drones everywhere.
drones everywhere? Like,
Yeah, it's a little scary to think about.
and what about like rules? Like who's making sure
Yeah, the regulation.
that they're not?
It's a bit of a Wild West out there, isn't it?
It is a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And like even beyond the rules, like
Yeah.
are people going to be cool with
Yeah, public perception.
drones just like buzzing around their houses?
That's a big one. It's all about, addressing those concerns that people have. Privacy, the noise.
Yeah.
Even potential misuse, right? Like, I think transparency is key.
Transparency.
Yeah, I got to be open about it, right? Involve the communities
Okay.
in the conversation. Show them the benefits,
Yeah, okay.
Build that trust.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's drones, huh? So the last thing
Yeah.
we wanted to touch on today was about
Hiring.
hiring. So, there's been a lot of talk about
AI bias.
AI bias,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to using AI in the hiring process.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was kind of interesting to see that a bunch of these like tech giants got together
Yeah.
and they've announced this new ethical framework
Oh, interesting.
for using AI in hiring.
Okay. So it's basically an attempt to address this bias problem.
Right. And why is that so important?
Well, because AI systems, they learn from data, right?
Right.
And if the data itself has biases baked in,
Yeah.
it can lead to, the AI basically perpetuating those biases, right?
Okay.
And that's not what we want. We want fair, equitable hiring practices.
Okay. So what is this like? How does this framework actually like try to combat that?
Well, it seems like they're focusing on a few things, like transparency, like really making sure that
Okay.
it's clear how these algorithms work so you can kind of scrutinize them, right? And then there's this emphasis on accountability, like
Oh, okay.
making sure there are mechanisms in place if things do go wrong, you know?
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, okay, but I'm a little skeptical. Like, how do
Yeah.
we know? Like, how do we know companies are actually gonna, you know, follow
Look, it's
this?
easy to talk the talk, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
But the walk is a little harder. I do think this push for independent audits is a good sign, you know?
Oh, interesting.
Having external experts come in and evaluate those algorithms for bias, that could help
Okay.
hold companies accountable, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's also this growing movement toward, actual legislation
Oh, wow.
that would hold companies liable, if those AI systems do lead to discriminatory outcomes.
Yeah. Okay. So it's definitely like it's a step.
It's a step, yeah.
It's a step in the right direction, it sounds like.
It feels like it, yeah. It's complex, but, got to start somewhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. Education, drones, hiring. It feels like, AI is just
Touching every aspect of our lives.
touching everything. So as we kind of wrap up here, what's like the biggest thing we should all kind of like keep in mind?
I think the most important thing is to remember that AI is a tool, right?
Tool.
Like any tool, it can be used for good or it can be used for not so good things, right? So we all have a responsibility
Yeah.
to steer its development, in a way that benefits everyone.
It's to everyone.
Yeah, and to keep asking those tough questions, about ethics, about accountability, about inclusivity.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's a great takeaway.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for joining me today and
It
for
was my pleasure.
breaking down all this stuff. I really appreciate it. And if everyone listening, stay curious, stay informed,
Yeah.
and stay engaged.
Yeah.
We all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI, so let's make it a good one, right?
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks.